I want to say something about GRE optional admissions that almost nobody in the pre-OT content has said directly. Some applicants became less competitive when programs went GRE optional. Not the applicants with the weak scores, the applicants with the strong ones. And understanding why is one of the most important things in this video, because whether this dynamic applies to you determines exactly what you need to focus on before applications open in July. Most applicants were celebrating GRE option and never thought about it from this angle. Before GRE optional admissions, the standardized score served as a compensatory mechanism in the application review. A strong verbal GRE score provided independent evidence of the academic and linguistic reasoning ability that professional writing requires. A strong quantitative GRE score provided independent evidence of scientific and analytical reasoning that graduate-level OT coursework demands. When those scores were present and strong, committees could look past the other application weaknesses. Generic personal statement writing, thin observation reflection, and an application that did not feel coherent. The strong score said, whatever these other signals suggest, this person has the academic baseline to succeed here. That compensatory function is now gone in GRE optional admissions. And here's what that means specifically for applications that relied on that very compensation. Because this is the change most applicants did not absorb. Without a strong GRE score to compensate, the quality of your writing is now a primary signal of your academic and professional readiness. There is no independent data point to rescue a generic statement. There is no standardized score to elevate thin observation reflections. The writing is the evidence, the reflection is the evidence. The cohesiveness of the application is now the evidence. If those are thin, nothing else in the file compensates for them. For the applicants who had strong scores covering weak writing or weak observations depth, this is a meaningful change in their competitive position. Not catastrophic, addressable, but only if they understand it clearly. So, here is how to honestly assess which category you are in and what you can do about it, regardless of the answer. Ask yourself these 3 questions honestly. If I remove my GRE score from my application entirely, what would be left to demonstrate my academic readiness to a committee? Is my personal statement demonstrating graduate-level professional thinking, or is it telling a story that any applicant could tell? Are my observation descriptions demonstrating clinical reasoning development, or are they describing experiences at a surface level without any analytical depth? If the honest answer to any of those questions makes you uncomfortable, you are in the category that the GRE optional hurt rather than helped. That is not a verdict, it is a diagnosis. And diagnoses are useful if you know how to act on them. Here is exactly what to do if you are in the category that GRE optional hurt, because every weakness this change exposed is addressable before applications open. For your writing statement, your personal statement needs to demonstrate professional level thinking, not just professional sounding language, and certainly not AI language. Read each paragraph and ask, does this demonstrate how I reason professionally? Or does it describe what happened to me personally, like a biography? The committee is reading for the first. Most applicants deliver the second. For observation depth, go back through your notes and identify clinical reasoning questions you never asked. What is the diagnosis that you observed? What were the functional implications did it create? What specific clinical decisions did the OT make and why, if you know? Did they tell you? What would you have done differently given what you know now? Those questions produce the analytical depth that replaces what the GRE used to provide. The GRE optional was genuinely good for applicants whose strong writing and clinical insight were being undersold by weak test scores. For those applicants, the standardized score was an undercount. Removing it let a real application quality shine through. For the applications in the opposite position, the fix is not to take the GRE. The fix is to build the application quality that the GRE was compensating for before the application deadline, while there's still time. My group sessions are built specifically around talking about these types of things. We work together to find solutions. The link is in the description. Also available is my school community, OT Student Leveled Up. This is a community specifically for pre-OT students applying in each cycle, and I'm here to help, and I help directly. I look forward to seeing you there.